Since its founding as Chicago by Jean Point du Sable, a black man, Chicago's black population has contributed to its status as a world-class city. That greatness and future success is diminished when its entire population, especially that of the black and brown communities, are not counted in the national census.
And make sure that you get counted, because if you're not counted, then you don't count.
Y'all from Inglewood, y'all from Inglewood? Won't y'all get counted?
Understanding the political and financial power associated with a complete and accurate census count, a group of Illinois lawmakers took the unprecedented step to fund millions of dollars in grassroots outreach to ensure every state resident is counted, especially the underrepresented and hard-to-reach groups like Blacks, Latinx, and children.
Hey everybody, let's get counted! How are you? We spent a lot of time, the Black Caucus, making sure that there was funding put in the budget for a good census count. This is our census bus tour, Get Out the Count, and I'm joined with Representative Lilly and Representative LaShawn Ford in making sure that we secured that $29 million to make that happen. Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton is here with us, and we needed to make sure that it was going to have a follow-through and that things were going to happen.
Helping to make that happen, the Counting on Chicago Coalition was formed, spearheaded by Habilitated Systems Incorporated and consisting of Above and Beyond Family Recovery Center, Alternative Schools Network, Austin People's Action Center, Austin Child Care Providers Network, Bobby E. Wright Health Center, Chicago Family Partnership, Chicago Westside Branch, NAACP, Communities United, Family Guidance Centers, Fathers Who Care, First Ladies Health Initiative, Garfield Park Community Council, Haymarket Center, Introspect, Leaders Network, the Loretto Hospital, North Lawndale Employment Network, People's Community Development Association, Phalanx Family Services, PLCCA, Project Exploration, St. Agatha Catholic Church, Sankofa Safe Child Initiative, Sinai Hospital, The Answer, the Chicago Lighthouse, UIC Disability and Human Development College, VASNet Sanctuary College, and Westside Health Authority.
We all met and discussed the importance of coming together to make this effort happen. The other thing I really want to emphasize is that the funding was coming through the Illinois Department of Human Services. Now, what's significant about that is because it was a no-brainer for us to realize that we needed to give attention to social determinants of health. At the same time, we were talking about the importance of the census.
HSI was one of the first regional intermediaries to have all recipients GATA compliant, executing sub-grantee contracts with the sub-recipients. Also, standard operating templates were created to aid partners, as well as weekly training was provided to increase overall capacity. This allowed the Counting on Chicago Coalition to initiate an aggressive, multi-pronged effort to touch every resident to compel them to fill out the census.
So really, there's no better time than right now. While you're staying home and saving lives, take the census survey. Please, make yourself count.
Hi, this is Carol Washington with Counting on Chicago Coalition. Do you know that today is Census Day? If you have not completed your census survey, wait no longer.
These efforts included highly effective person-to-person campaigns and out-of-the-box initiatives like taking advantage of Chicago's hosting of the NBA All-Star Game with PSAs featuring present and former NBA players and a viewing party of the NBA All-Star Game.
Hey, it's Denzel Valentine with the Chicago Bulls, and it's important that you get counted in the 2020 census.
NBA All-Star fever came to Collins Academy on Chicago's west side. Basketball fans filled the gymnasium there yesterday for a group watch party. Census officials were there as well, educating people about being counted for the 2020 census.
Things were moving like a fast break until March, when those efforts were steamrolled by the COVID-19 pandemic. The worldwide health crisis caused the unprecedented shutdown of goods and services in Illinois and forced a major reorganization of outreach efforts from in-person to virtual.
That's being planned out right now. This is determining where that federal funding for schools, hospitals, playgrounds. That money is not going to go to our communities because we're not filling this out.
We had established a ground game in terms of outreach and engagement for the respective communities on the west and south sides of Chicago, going door to door, going to our churches, going to elected officials. We knew that needed to happen in a very powerful and effective way. When COVID-19 hit, of course, we didn't know what to expect. There was fear, there was panic, and of course we had to reestablish and rework the message.
That reworking of the message required turning on a dime. The coalition followed social distancing guidelines and began innovative virtual campaigns to reach people where they are. Like promoting National Census Sunday. The virtual church campaign was part of the national strategy to engage specific faith-based institutions in census awareness.
This day was designated to be Census Sunday throughout the city of Chicago. Some 200 churches have been engaged to participate in communicating information to their congregants.
There's also the Family Ancestry Challenge, building on the role the census plays in documenting Black ancestry.
Thank you all for joining today's Family Ancestry Challenge. The whole reason why we're here is because of the census, and the expectations is that we want all of the students to participate and complete the challenge. Your online sign up is here for students. We also encouraging you to have your parents sign up as well.
Continuing the move to the virtual domain, the coalition began a full court press, employing targeted strategies to leave no person uncounted. Counting on Chicago census promotions were directed at those areas with low response rates. Initiatives included long and short form video campaigns like Defining Our Decade and public service announcements from local politicians and community leaders. Also included were radio media buys with Black-oriented stations. Additionally, the coalition formed a partnership with the Black Women's Expo, taking advantage of their rich database of tens of thousands of followers. There were phone banking and calling trees, numerous display ads, flyers, newspaper articles and inserts, handouts and census merchandise giveaways, and mobile electronic billboards driving home the message of the importance of being counted.
The 2020 census makes sure that we have funds for hospitals, schools, and public transportation.
Just as the coalition gained its footing, efforts were rocked by peaceful protests and civil unrest that came out of the killings of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd.
In essence, people were saying in no uncertain terms, I will not allow this to continue to happen. And to see so many citizens across this country unite with that message, we will not tolerate this. Not in this time, not in this moment. We've got to define this decade differently than decades before us.
One of the most important things we want to talk about in terms of institutional racism is the importance of being counted. We have got to make a statement that we do count.
Watch the world coming
Let's
to.
join with those all around the nation who are seeking justice and realize that this demonstration today is in the tradition of the great Dr. Martin Luther King.
We're in the battle of our lifetime. And the change we seek is not going to come tomorrow or the next day, but it will come if we spend our lives working for it.
See, the issue is more than police. Yeah. It's bankers.
Absolutely.
Insurance companies. Yeah. Universities.
Absolutely.
With the man, equity, parenting, everywhere. Pump your fist, everybody say, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
You can have community development, economic development, better schools, better opportunities for our Black community.
The point about the census is not only the resources, but our representation.
More important that we get counted. And so that's why we use experiences and events such as this to make certain that we are surely sending the message of getting counted.
While much has been achieved, despite unimaginable obstacles, much more still needs to be done.
We learned additional ways that we needed to support each other and keep a coalition together. We learned about the additional types of supports that our coalition required. We also learned more about our community. And that is, you know what, if you can't take care of a person's basic human needs, you're really not going to have their attention. We have made over 200,000 outreach calls. That's phenomenal for this coalition to do. And yet, you know, in terms of state accountability and transparency, we've got to be able to document and record fiscally and programmatically everything that has occurred. So we have been building capacity, and we have put additional systems in place to ensure that our partners get the additional support that they need, that we need to be able to be fully accountable for the work that's been done. And we said, listen, let's tap into that information and let's make sure that we target those areas that had very low response rates, less than 30%. And so we were able to do that and put additional strategic focus on those areas. And that has made a difference. So ultimately, what we want to see is that we not only met that 2010 level, but exceeded that 2010 level with the efforts that we've been engaged in thus far.